Yoon had always known the Kim mansion more intimately than she knew herself. The marble floors beneath her feet had felt her bare soul since she was 5. The scent of expensive candles and imported wine had burnt into her memory long before she ever understood what wealth truly meant. Her mother, a maid for the Kim family, had raised her in the servant quarters behind the estate. The world inside that glass castle had always been too shiny, too high for someone like Yoon, and especially for someone like her to fall in love with the man who ruled it, Kim Taeyang. He was everything her world warned her about: rich, reckless, beautiful, dangerous. His name was whispered in the tabloids and screamed on the streets. Every other week, a new girl. Every other night, a new party. Every other glance, a new victim. And yet, the boy she remembered wasn't always this monster. There were brief, long ago memories of a younger Tay holding her tiny hand under the cherry blossom tree in the garden, offering her his juice box, his gummy smile wide and innocent, but that innocence had long withered away. Now, his presence suffocated every corner of the mansion when he returned from his trips. The house staff trembled when his car pulled in at 3 a.m., headlights slicing through the fog like a warning. Yoon kept her head down, her eyes lower, and her distance safest. But somehow, he always noticed her. He would watch her when she cleaned the chandelier high up on a ladder, his gaze burning through her spine. He would pause by the kitchen door as she washed dishes, fingers brushing against hers too often to be accidents. He would smirk when she caught him watching her, like a predator amused by how long it took for the prey to feel the heat of danger. You have grown up, he murmured one night, suddenly behind her in the hallway. She dropped the linens she had folded and stepped back, heart jackhammering. Tay, Mr. Kim, she corrected quickly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. He tilted his head. You still call me Tay, like when we were kids? His voice dropped, velvety smooth but soaked in menace. That's sweet. She wanted to run, but she didn't. Over the next few days, things changed. A bouquet of black roses in her closet, a diamond bracelet tucked under her pillow, notes written in bold, almost angry cursive. Don't wear this dress again. I didn't like how they looked at you. Come to the garden at midnight or I'll come find you. You're mine. You always have been. She thought it was a sick joke, a prank, a mistake, until she found her phone gone, her mother's phone too. The photos from childhood replaced with images she never took. Herself asleep, in the maid uniform, changing, bathing. Panic bloomed in her chest. She told her mother, but her mother looked terrified and whispered, Don't say a word. He's not the boy you knew, and you don't know what he's capable of now. Yoon tried to avoid him. She begged to leave, but every job her mother applied to was rejected. Every time they tried to step out, the gates wouldn't open. The guard said, Mr. Kim's orders. He caged her with luxury, a new room, furnished with velvet curtains and a four-poster bed. Dresses she'd never dreamt of, perfumes that smelled like money and sin. Her mother had been relocated to the farthest wing. Yoon's duties were now solely to assist the master. Tay became possessive and obsessive. He started eating breakfast only if she sat across from him. He would fire chefs who didn't cook food she liked. He once smashed a wine glass against the wall when he saw a delivery boy glance at her too long. You're not allowed to be beautiful for anyone else, he said coldly. You're mine, Yoon. I made you. I raised you. That night she cried, not just from fear, but confusion. A part of her, deep down, still remembered the soft day from her childhood. Was he buried somewhere under the rage, the control? She made the mistake of asking him once, What happened to you, Tay? His jaw clenched, and he grabbed her wrist. You left me. She blinked. I never. You stopped playing with me when we were 12. You avoided me when I turned 15. You laughed with the other mates' kids and forgot me. His voice cracked. I waited for you every summer, every winter, but you only came to work. You forgot I existed. I loved you even then. It didn't sound like love. It sounded like obsession twisted into memory. She realized then, Taeyang never moved on from the past. He just rewrote it. One rainy night, she found the hidden basement. She wasn't supposed to be near the east wing, but the door was ajar and curiosity mixed with dread. She crept down the stairs and discovered a room full of surveillance footage. Cameras, hundreds of labeled tapes, her name was at least 30 of them. She couldn't breathe. One tape was still playing. She leaned forward. It was footage from the last week of her sleeping, Taeyang sitting beside her, stroking her hair gently, whispering things in a language only he and God understood. I'll marry you soon. I'll kill anyone who touches you. I'll burn the world down for you. She ran straight into him. I told you not to go in there, he said, voice emotionless. Now you have seen it, so now you really can't leave. That night, he locked her in the master bedroom. Yoon was no longer a maid. She was a prisoner. His obsession escalated. The staff were fired one by one, replaced with men who didn't speak. His friends stopped visiting. His phone rarely rang. His world had shrunk to only her. And the scariest part, sometimes, when he smiled at her the way he used to when they were kids, she didn't hate it. Sometimes, when he whispered her name in the dark so softly, she felt her heart flutter. Was it fear? Or was it the years of closeness playing tricks on her? But the thing spiraled further. One morning, her mother was gone. Taeyang said she left. She said she was tired. But Yoon didn't believe him. She searched the mansion. She screamed, cried, pleaded. He only watched with hollow eyes. She wanted to take you away from me, he finally said. I had to make sure that wouldn't happen. The ground cracked beneath her soul. That night, she stabbed him. With a fork from dinner, right in the shoulder, she ran while he bled, calling after her like a wounded animal. The gates were locked. She scaled the wall, bleeding from her palms, and ran barefoot through the forest for hours until a farmer picked her up. She reported everything, the tapes, the threats, her missing mother. But by the time the authorities returned to the estate, it was empty. No cameras, no Taeyang, no proof. The mansion was stripped bare like it had been abandoned for years. Yoon was taken to a shelter. No records of her mother, no surveillance. The farmer who picked her up went missing 2 weeks later. Police said it was coincidence. She moved cities, changed names, got a job as a waitress, tried to live again. For 6 months, it worked. Until one night, the doorbell rang. No one ever came to her apartment. She peeked through the peephole. A single black rose lay on the mat. No footsteps, no one in sight. And then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. You still look beautiful when you cry. Come home, Yoon. I'm not mad anymore. The lights flickered. She wasn't alone anymore. Hello, armies. Let me know if you would like a second part, a happy or a darker alternate ending. Please do comment it in the comment section.